Hello and welcome back to a new video. Today we are going to be doing another deck review. I have actually covered this deck before in a previous video, but this is the new and upgraded version of this deck. This deck has gone through a lot of changes. I've played a lot of this deck recently and I've really liked it. So what we will be showing today is Mew vmax again, but this is the fusion build of Mew vmax, not the white build which I covered recently. And I do want to give a thank you to everyone who watched my latest video on the Obsidian Frames deck video. That video is doing really well, like 300 views, which is insane, and a good few comments on it. So I would say thank you. And so we are going to start off with this deck. This whole deck, obviously, is around Mew because it's a Mew vmax deck. And what you basically focus on is you can use Max Miracle, its second attack, but you do mainly use Cross Fusion Strike to copy one of your bench Fusion Strike Pokemon's attack and then use it for that attack. It does the same damage, except if there's any damage modifiers or negatives on this Pokemon, not the benched. So say I were to have a double turbo energy, it would do 20 less of that attack that you're copying. So it is a bit of a confusing one to get around, but basically it copies the attacks off the bench and that's it. For this deck we run 3 copies of Mew vmax. This deck's a little bit more on the expensive side, not expensive as Lugia, but not as expensive as Giratina. Giratina was quite a cheap deck, so that's always a good first step. But for these, you can actually pick the League Battle deck up, which is basically half of this deck, other than a few maybe tech cards that you get in there. And that retails for about £30, I think. And it's a very good pickup if you're new into TCG. It's a very good first theme deck, 100%. So we'll put the Mew vmaxes in the corner here. Obviously with Mew vmaxes, you will then need Mew Vs. That's the next card. I don't actually have 4 of the Crown Zenith ones because they are my favorite ones. I actually have 3 of the Fusion Strike ones and then 1 of the Crown Zenith one. But it still does the job. You don't use this Pokemon's attack at all. It's just to get the Mew vmaxes into play. But we have 4 so that we have consistency on when we're drawing them or how much they'll be in the deck and not in the prize cards. Having 4 is a very good amount for that. We're just going to sort this out for a sec because there's a lot of cards in this deck I'm going to show you. Another card previously shown in the other Mew vmax build is Genesect V. You do actually use Genesect V's ability. This is the whole point of it, for its ability Fusion Strike system. Try and get it there. Once during your turn, you may draw cards until you have as many cards in your hand as you have Fusion Strike Pokemon in play. You deliberately thin down your hand so you can keep drawing into your vmaxes, keep drawing into more Genesects, the energy cards, the power tablets, all those cards like Boss's Orders. So you have keep consistency on drawing and you tend to go through your deck very quick. But we also copy Technoblast, which does 210 damage, which is very good against Vs, which can one-hit KO majority of Vs. I think some Vs are still sat around 230 HP, but whack on a choice belt, then you're doing enough damage for a knockout. But there's also good for vmaxes because 210 vmax against a vmax or v-star is still enough for a 2-hit knockout, which is very good. But we do run 4 of these. I do like Mew because of this consistency. With decks like Lugia, it's not very consistent on draw power, which can hurt you late game. Whereas Mew vmax, you can also recycle some cards back into your deck with some other cards I will show in a bit. But it's very good against most decks in format. But Drapion V with that ability Wild Style to attack for 1 less with each opponent's Pokemon with Rapid Strike, Fusion Strike and Single Strike Pokemon in play, and it's doing weakness damage. It's a tough one, but you can get around it with a card I will show you in a bit. We do run a 1/1 of Meloetta with the play promo stamp in the corner for its Melodious Echo, doing 70 for each Fusion Strike energy on this Pokemon. You do copy with that one, it's very good, but you can use it on its own. A recent card that got a lot of hype in Mew is Ice-Q. This Ice-Q is very good in single prize decks like Lost Box for its for its attack block slider, doing 40 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon, well, any Pokemon really, for each Fusion Strike energy attached to it. So 4 Fusion Strike energy, it's 40 damage, it's 160. You can one-hit KO probably most things in Lost Box, which is very good for taking easy one-prizers. And I've actually used this card against another Mew player, which also had Ice Q, and which got me the win, funnily enough. I think it actually made me win the game, because I just block slidered their Ice Q, was one prize card down, and that was it. Like a staple in Mew, we do run 4 Battle VIP passes. These cards are expensive, but as I said, in the Mew League Battle deck, you do get 4 of these, which are very good. They are like £2.50 a pop, which is expensive. So if you have any of these and you don't play, sell them. They're very useful, but allowing us to get 2 basic Pokemon put onto the bench. Very good. Another card that's stupid expensive is Forest Stillstone. These are about £8 to £9 a copy, or probably about $10 for any US audience I have out there. These are very good for searching out any card. As you said, Star Alchemy. During your turn, you may search your deck for a card, put it into your hand. That could easily get you the win with like Boss's Orders or energy cards, or even a Battle VIP pass I've done, where I've drawn into Forest Stillstone but not Battle VIP pass. I'll just Forest Stillstone for a Battle VIP pass and get set up. We do run a low count of Nest Ball, only till. We don't really need many because we draw with Genesect. But it's still good to have early game open hand. Just getting 2 easy cards, easy basic Pokemon onto the bench as soon as possible. To thin down our hand, like I mentioned, we do run a high count of Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball is very good for thinning down the hand, getting rid of 2 useless cards you need, searching out for 1 card you might need, like Mew, Genesect, or maybe even any single prizes here. But it's very good for thinning down your hand so you can keep Fusion Strike systeming. It's a bit of a long one. And just keep drawing more cards, which is, as I said, this whole idea of this deck revolves around. Another card that we have high count of is this really good card in the format right now, Cramoratic. As you can see, I've got a holo version, which you can only get in the play promo packs, which is very neat. Cramoratic lets you discard an item card from your hand, and along with this, and you have to flip a coin if head, search for any card you want and put it into your hand. Very good, but as it says, it's a coin flip card, so it's not very cool. You do rely on the coin flip a lot, but if you're lucky and you can keep getting those head coin flips, you're in a good spot to win. For a little bit of disruption, I do like to run 2 Lost Vacuum. This allows me to put a card like Forest Stillstone or a Stadium in play into the Lost Zone, therefore it cannot be given back again. And it can also allow me to put down the Stadium if not, and I can keep, like say Path to the Peak was in play, it shuts off my Genesect. I will Lost Vacuum maybe that or that, or get rid of the Path to the Peak, and then I can keep Fusion Strike systeming again. So having 2 Lost Vacuums is also very good for getting rid of tools like Choice Belt and anything like that, just to stop that damage coming through. A little bit of a switch, we do run 2 Escape Ropes just to switch out, mainly when Genesect's in the active, because it does have a 2 retreat cost, unlike Mew, which has no retreat cost. So having a couple of switches is basically necessary in every deck. Another one-off we have is Power Pad, just putting back like Boss's Orders or maybe Judge or Iona, which is in this deck and I will show off, just because you do need a bit of recycling when you use your Boss's Orders especially. More switch cards, I feel like not many people like a lot of switch cards, but 2 switch card I feel like is also very good for the Genesect, as well as Mew Vs and some of these single prizes which you might get stuck in the active. You definitely want a couple of switches in a deck. I feel like 4 or 2. A minimum of 2, but 4 is what I like to play personally. These deck lists are all unique as well, by the way, so feel free to copy them if you want. I mean, they're all displayed in front of you and the cards numbers here. We do run two Choice Belt, doing 30 damage to more Vs, just to add that extra damage bonus so we can get more knockouts quicker. A card which is good against other Mew matchups, as well as Gardevoir matchups, and maybe Lost Box, maybe not. It's Cleansing Gloves. I've shown this card off before, I think, but it does 30 more damage to your opponent's active Psychic Pokemon. Very good for Gardevoir, as I mentioned, because you're doing 30 more damage. It doesn't matter if it's an EX, which Choice Belt doesn't cover because it says V. so you can do more damage as quickly as possible, and the way we do more damage is also amplified by one more card in this deck, which is Power Tablet. We see that nice hollow there, doing 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. So you can just pop 3 of these down at once and say, I'm doing 120 more damage. With a combination of maybe Cleansing Glove, it's very, very useful. 4 is a staple, it's a must-have. You do not run anything less than 4 in Mew. More cards to give a bit of disruption is Boss's Orders, just to switch up. It's a staple in every deck. I think I've said it before. A one-off is an Iono, just for that hand disruption. Late game, very useful. Early game can also be useful if you have a really bad hand. Another card that we run only a couple of is Elise's Sparkle. Searching our deck for 2 Fusion Strike energies and attaching them to 2 of my Pokemon. Very useful early game for getting set up as quickly as possible. I think I'm going to run out of room here, so this might be a bit of an overlap because, as I said, we do run a lot of cards in this deck, so I'm going to be tight on space, I reckon, if I just move a couple of these Power Tablets and Boss's Orders now. There we go. Another one-off we run is Judge for more hand disruption. Same with Iono, but it doesn't go to the bottom of the deck. It just goes into your... It just goes straight into your deck. For stadiums, we've got 2 Lost City. Putting cards in the Lost Zone, as I mentioned, Drapion is vital. You must do it if they run a Drapion. Luckily, at the minute, not many decks are running Drapion at the minute, so maybe now is the best time to play Mew. Yes, we are running out of room, but that's fine because we do run a one-off of Path to the Peak, disrupting opponents and basically everything along that line. Disrupt, make sure you give your opponent a hard time. We are just gonna probably put these overlapping because it's fine. If you do request a deck list from me, I'll just pin you a comment on it. For energies now, we do run 4 double turbo energies to 1 power up Mew vmax, but it does do the 20 less as I mentioned before, but then cards like Power Tablet negate that -20. And for finally more energies, we do run the Fusion Strike energies, what we get from Elise's Sparkle, used for Melodious Echo or Ice Cube. So 4 is a staple because you do get 1 or 2 prized occasionally, not always, but everything like that. So yeah, I ran out of room. Maybe it's time to get a better setup. And I hope you enjoyed this Mew vmax deck video. I am going to be trying to make more content soon. I am currently trying my hardest to earn more points, more championship points, and I'm currently arranging for me to go to Liverpool Regionals soon, which is in January, and also maybe go abroad and go play in the Germany regionals as well, because I unfortunately cannot make the Lille regionals, which is in France. So I am going all in this season. I am going all in, trying to get as many points as I can. So expect more of these deck videos to come out soon. I do have one more deck that is built, which I got first placed in at my local league, and I got first placed at a league challenge as well with that deck. So that deck's a very good deck, and I will show it off maybe today, maybe tomorrow when I get the chance to record another video. So thank you all for watching. Leave your comments down below on your thoughts about this deck, and have a great rest of your day.